Welcome back to the Aladdin Hotel and Casino. We are live. Willie Salazar, the challenger, the champion, is Danny Romero. It's a non-title fight, but Danny Romero is one of the best in the business.
In the city of Albuquerque, New Mexico, in a gym behind his father's house, Danny Kid Dynamite Romero is in training. In a weight class generally not known for producing boxers with extraordinary punching power, the undefeated International Boxing Federation flyweight champion has become one of the sport's young rising stars. But certainly, this journey to the top has not been easy.
It was a long road, long, hard road, mentally, physically, for everybody around me. From just waiting to see who was going to fight, when the world title was going to come. We had all the ability to fight for it and win it. It was just the time. We had hunger for it. We had tasted it, grabbed it so much that, you know, it was just there, and it just took that much patience.
Romero won his world title in convincing fashion back in April against Francisco Tejada, knocking him down in the 12th round and getting a unanimous decision. And while Romero might have been the only member of his team throwing punches that night, he is quick to praise the guys in his corner for getting him there. It's for real.
Of course, inside the ring, it's me inside the ring getting hit. But for me not to get hit, for me to show my boxing ability, it's done by a team. It's done by a whole circle that we do have. So, like my boxing ability, or my boxing style isn't mine, it's my dad's. He has perfected it since I was 5 years old. So what I show in there is done by them and him.
Everybody has fit in like a glove. That's what's so nice about everything. You know, everybody gets along, everybody knows what they have to do, and plus they're good at their job. Everybody that's around us, everybody's good at what they do. There's not one person that has made Danny. It's been a team, like he said. It's been, everybody has worked hard. He just goes out there and shows it for us.
Romero has been a thrill to watch in the ring, exploding for KOs 22 of 25 times. And Danny really hasn't gotten hit all that often. He's made short work of his opponents, finishing off 18 of his 25 fights by the 5th round. Observers have suggested Romero move up in weight class, a move they think will bolster his career.
Weight class changing for me is, my ultimate focus right now is at 112. I want to stay there. There's intriguing fights for me there. At this point, I'm not going to stay there very long. I want to move up. I got the ability to move up a few different divisions. So that's what I'm looking forward in the future. Winning world titles in different weight classes, step by step.
Well, for now, Danny Romero is content to sit atop his throne as the IBF world title holder. That championship reign looks to be his as long as he wants it.
You're looking at Danny Romero, 25-0, 22 knockouts. It's his first fight in 6 weeks. 6 weeks ago in San Antonio, he knocked out Miguel Martinez, and it's his second fight since winning the title back on April 22nd. His opponent tonight from Guadalajara, Mexico, Willie Salazar, who is 30 years old, and to be kind, he is indeed a journeyman, an opponent tonight. Let's take a look at the keys to victory.
Here's how they'll stack up. Salazar would like to slow the pace down, not have the Romero whirlwind on top of him right away. Get to the late rounds, maybe something can happen there, maybe get a decision, don't get whacked out early. For Danny Romero, the consistent pressure that he's noted for, you can take your pick of what will be the best punches, but he is a noted body puncher along with everything else. That's the good investment for him.
And now the formal introductions. Let's go back up into the ring, and Jake Gutierrez. Jake?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Aladdin Hotel and Casino, along with Top Rank Incorporated and the undisputed King of Beers, Budweiser and ESPN, are proud to present our featured bout of the evening. This fight is scheduled for 10 rounds in the super flyweight division. Your judges at ringside are Chuck Giampa, Dolly Shirley, and Patricia Jarman, and your referee in charge is Mr. Joe Cortez. And now, from the Aladdin Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's time for the leather to fly. This is your main event. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 114 pounds. He wears the green trunks with white trim. He is from San Diego, California. A professional record of 41 wins, 21 defeats, and 1 draw, with 28 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Willie Salazar. And his opponent across the ring, he weighed in at 119 pounds. He's fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the gold trunks with red trim from Albuquerque, New Mexico. His professional record, an outstanding 25 wins, no defeats, with 22 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, the IBF flyweight champion of the world, Danny Kid Dynamite Romero. Instructions.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Ya vi las reglas en el camerino. I want a good, clean fight. Quiero una pelea limpia. Desen la mano. Shake hands. Good luck.
The bilingual Joe Cortez for Willie Salazar's case. When we talked to Willie this morning, it was through an interpreter. And the champion, Danny Romero, 22 knockouts in his 25-0 record. Well, let's get it on. It's time for the main event.
Well, if you're Danny Romero, you would like to get this over as fast as possible. Not the biggest payday. Bigger fights are on the horizon. You could get a clash of heads. You could hurt your hands. All kinds of risks in these so-called tune-up fights. Many tune-up fights have resulted in fighters losing much more than that. And Romero with a huge knockout ratio, 88%, blitzing through his opponents.
As you pointed out in the open, Willie Salazar has as many losses in his life as Danny Romero has years.
21 for each. Salazar said he was turning pro when he was 15 years old in Mexico back in 1980. The rule's different there as far as how old you could be to turn pro.
Half his life he's been a professional boxer.
You could have 10 fights. You might even have a title fight before you can drive.
Salazar has fought only 4 times, though, between 1991 and 1994, but this is his 4th fight this year.
He's gotten back into a rhythm as far as his fights are concerned.
Romero just sizing him up. Jab, jab, jab. Right hand by Salazar.
And Romero, so did Salazar. The key to watching this fight here is, as you look at Salazar, does he think he's in the fight? As these rounds go on, where does he think he is? Romero doesn't want him to give him that chance.
But Romero delivers a short right hand, and so does Salazar in return.
A very critical answer right there by Salazar. He stood up at the right time.
Now remember, this fight was scheduled to be for 114 pounds. But Romero weighed in yesterday at 121, which raises the question, how seriously did he take this fight?
Well, when you're making perhaps 20% of what you'll get in your next fight and your last fight, there is a definite letdown factor that comes into play. You might have your pilot light on, make sure you at least get to some level, but it's a problem. I guess they figured that you have to stay sharp. It's been 6 weeks. It will be another 6 weeks before he fights again. So this fight is risky for Romero if it goes a while.
Oh! Romero just walked into a right hand after missing with a right hand of his own.
And Romero brought his right hand in from Texas.
This is a surprisingly good first round for Willie Salazar. Supposed to be an opponent tonight, nothing more. But somebody forgot to tell him. Round 2 coming up in just a minute.
You know, a lot of people who work on their cars will only shop
At this moment, some tune-up for Danny Romero as Salazar comes in and lands a strong right hand. Not used to seeing Romero get hit like that.
That may have been more of a wake-up than a tune-up. And Salazar, feeling confident off his strong first round, is the aggressor early in the second.
How they stack up, a total even round as far as that's concerned, and they both landed their share of some good shots.
So who won the first round?
You can call that one even. They both had a good share of some bombs.
A firm commitment from Dave Bontempo.
Yeah, firmly even.
A little bit of swelling over Romero's left eye.
He got whacked there at the end of the round, and between rounds, the corner had to really address that.
A minute into round two. And that left eye may become a problem as it's beginning to swell.
And we talked about how Romero does not want this to go rounds.
And Salazar with some body punches. Romero comes back.
And that eye for Romero closing, which will affect everything he does. He won't be able to see the right hands coming at him, and he will have to gamble more than he likes. Danny Romero is in a $150,000 type struggle, $150,000 type struggle on a night he's making $20,000.
Another wild right missed, and a right hand Salazar delivers in return. Salazar seems much more composed than Romero does.
Well, he's got better balance here in the second round and much more confidence.
You get the sense Romero.
Well, Salazar is opening up. He's gambling, and Romero is fighting to protect something, and that's pretty much what's added here. A non-title fight, but he is protecting future paydays. And this guy in front of him here all of a sudden is savvy. He's motivated. He's found the range with right hands. And for as long as this goes, we have a fight.
And it's not going the way Romero had it planned at all. He said to us this morning when we sat down with him, he was going to come out and be the aggressor. He's attempted to do that, but Salazar has had an answer at every turn.
And that will make him, in turn, perhaps a little more tentative. See the head movement there by Salazar? The balance. Romero's jab coming up a little bit short. I think Danny Romero will have to bob and weave, get downstairs, and do some body work so he can slow this movement here of Salazar.
Another right hand from Salazar,
who is in good shape.
This was another right. And that's the end of round two. And Danny Romero goes back dejectedly into his corner. And he listens to his father, Danny Sr.
I just want to have a look before it gets any more close. You see it okay? Is my fingers up? All right.
You're welcome. He's trying to get through that uppercut.
Well, I talked about Romero cannot block these shots now because of the vision problem. And there it is as he gets hit with one right hand shot after another.
This clearly is not the way the Romero clan had this fight figured at all.
Well, how many times have you seen tune-up fights and your fighter ends up getting a new engine, new transmission, and everything else? Salazar landing 68% of his power shots in round two, 17 of 25, and a good number of those as the eye of Romero closed and he could not see them. That's major danger for Romero. If Salazar would go right back to that and work on it, he could get a stoppage here. And Salazar with a significant edge there. And those numbers aside and the scoring aside, Salazar has his chance to win the fight now. Romero knows it, and he's coming at him.
And Romero delivers a solid right hand, but Salazar comes right back. Another big right hand. Romero is having difficulty seeing that right hand. As the left eye continues to swell. That left eye is nearly swollen shut. This would be a huge upset if this fight continues to go this way. It's still early. Scheduled for 10.
The danger of non-title fights and tune-ups again, rearing their ugly head.
The danger of looking ahead reminds me of Holyfield and Spoken, Bert Cooper.
Most certainly does, and many other fights we've had on this network where fighters were one bout away from a title fight, thought they would take one more to get ready, and never got their title bout. And Salazar is fighting like a man who knows this could be the night of his career.
Danny Romero is undefeated, 25-0.
Hey, come on, Danny. Come on, Danny. Let me clean the head, man. Let me clean the head. Let's go.
And Salazar came into this fight having lost 2 of his previous 6.
Well, fighters will perform to a certain level, especially those who have a lot of losses, but there are certain points in any fight, especially early, if they're given a chance and they get into the fight, forget the journeyman status. They're going to fight a couple of levels higher, and Salazar is fighting a couple levels higher.
And there is a look of desperation on the face of Danny Romero. He's swinging wildly, trying to get back into this fight with one big punch, but he is having difficulty seeing that right hand.
And he gets warned appropriately by Joe Cortez about holding and hitting as he tries to make up the distance gap because of his eye problems. I think Romero has to bob and weave and forget this style out here now. Get close enough so he can pound the body.
That right eye is just about useless for Danny Romero. We go to round 4 in just a moment.
Holding the head and hitting like that.
More boxing comes your way tomorrow night on ESPN 2. One of the most popular fighters in the history of the Top Rank Series, Johnny Tapia, takes on Jesse Miranda. We'll be live from Caesar's Palace, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific. And the aforementioned Johnny Tapia is joining us at ringside. Johnny, you have to be as surprised as we are the way this fight's been going so far.
I'm very surprised. Danny's been getting really hit hard.
Johnny, we'd hate to sound morbid, but the fight that you've wanted with Romero, do you see it possibly slipping away here with this performance by him?
And Danny needs to get a knockout to win this fight. I don't want him to lose. I want him to fight me. That's who I really want. I wish Danny would fight me. But he better think about this guy before he thinks about me.
And once again, the right hand. That left eye is all but swollen shut, and I think Romero's having a very difficult time seeing that right hand come.
Johnny, the idea of taking this fight for Danny Romero, non-title, what do you think about that? Can fighters hit a lull if it's not as much as on the line?
The problem is right now, every fighter you fight, you got to be in condition, you got to focus. You don't take nobody lightly. And I think that's what he's doing with this fighter right now.
Well, Salazar with the edge and also with some huge bombs. What about now, Danny's been on the outside. What about him getting inside and trying to smother? This way he won't be on the end of the jab and then he can get to the body.
That's what he's going to have to do, and he got to do a lot of bobbing and weaving because this guy is catching him with everything he throws.
Blood now trickling from the nostril of Danny Romero. This is a big upset in the making if it happens to play itself out.
Question is now also, how long can Salazar keep his foot on the pedal with the gas here? He needs to do it the entire fight. Can't give Romero a chance to get back into it and collect himself.
Remember, this is a non-title fight, so Romero would not lose the title. He would lose a good deal of prestige, however. Oh, and again the right hand. He just can't see it coming.
Salazar needs to be a little more busy with it, though. Now, in this round, he's pawing with it to a degree. He's not coming in with the bombs as he was in round 3. Salazar pawing a little bit there, maybe just showing Danny Romero something, but he needs all the mustard on that punch when he does get it off.
The intensity picking up here in round 4 with a minute to go.
Danny got to move his head while he goes in, too. He's just going straight front, straight front. Just going right at him, right at him. He don't care if he's getting hit.
Is Salazar letting Danny Romero off the hook here?
I think he's suckering him in. with an see the uppercut of the right hands was catching him.
You're listening to Johnny Tapia, who is going to be fighting tomorrow night at Caesars Palace, and he has a vested interest in the outcome of this fight. He has wanted Danny Romero in the ring with him in the worst way, and they are wailing now.
Well, Romero, for the first time, got the better punch in, and he's coming on here. Talked about Salazar maybe letting him off the hook. Will Danny Romero turn it around? Salazar is tired.
The most sustained offensive of the night for Romero, and Salazar's in trouble with 10 seconds to go. Oh, and a big right hand! A big right hand! Salazar trying to withstand it inside the final 10 seconds of the round. Danny Romero hit him hard after the bell. Well, for the first time tonight, Danny Romero has finally shown us what we expected to see.
Talk about Salazar letting him off the hook, and that's exactly what happened. Salazar got tired. Danny Romero turned it around.
Just let me look, okay? You get that stop. You go keep up protegente. Okay, no more. Hold on with the water. Hold on with the water. I'm here to protect you.
Well, here's Romero winning the first exchange in the last couple rounds. That's his defining moment in this bout. It just knocked Salazar off a little bit, not much. Then he comes on, grazing shot, but this is the momentum. Then that starts to come in. And Salazar now is a target. Danny Romero has shaken off the cobwebs, and you can't give him this kind of a chance because he can forgive a lot of previous sins.
So here we go. Romero with a big flourish to end round 5.
You could see it coming there with Salazar not having as much on his punches in round 4, pawing a little bit, showing some fatigue, and letting Danny Romero back in the ballgame. Now let's see if Salazar adjusts or whether Romero keeps it on him. Through round 4, Salazar with a big edge, but the last few for Romero were the big ones.
Romero now finding the range. But he continues to, a huge left hook.
Salazar is too tired, so he's moving straight back. As he moves straight back, he's getting in the path.
Blood is just pouring out of Salazar's nose now. Clearly it's been broken. It is just streaming out.
Romero just missed with one there, but he maintains his balance.
Salazar has a bad problem with putting his hands down. The overright comes. See?
Every time he exhales through his nose, blood is just pouring out.
And all this without Danny Romero going to the body. Now there he tried it for one of the few times in this fight. If he did go to the body, he can make Salazar fold up like an accordion.
Romero now.
Johnny, it's a much different fight.
Yeah, it's a lot different fight, you know. Even on the weigh-ins, Danny came in at 121, Salazar came in at 114, and it's showing Danny's power right now in the later rounds.
But he has found redemption here, it looks like.
I don't want Danny to lose. I hope that he wins this fight and he gives me the opportunity to fight him.
Salazar, a very gutty performance. His nose is broken and blood continues just to pour out.
Well, there comes a point in every fight, the defining moment, when it's on the line. And for Salazar, it was on the line early. He had a big edge, hurting Romero through 3. He needed a bigger 4th. He didn't get it. Now Romero is right back on him.
Both fighters, their faces grotesquely disfigured now. A combination by Romero. And we are going to take a break here after round 5 of what has turned out to be a bloodbath.
It's American Toyota.
First watch Salazar, then watch him back straight up as Romero now comes into him. Straight back, and that's why he walks into that left hook.
Oh, and a big right hand from Danny Romero to start the 6th round.
So first he shows you the left hook, then the right hand. Let's see if he goes to the body. That's been absent tonight by Danny Romero.
I think if Danny would go to the body, he would stop him a lot sooner than he thinks.
And in round 5, they were even as far as the punches thrown, but the ones that had the exclamation points on them were thrown by Danny Romero.
The damage clearly done.
Danny's got to set up that jab and then go to the body with the right hand. He's hurting him that way.
There's a jab and a missed right hand.
Salazar drops that right hand. That's what's getting him caught.
Now, we've seen Romero in previous fight be practically a murderous body puncher. That has not been there tonight. We haven't seen the bob and weave. We haven't seen him duck down and really pound the midsection. That is why Salazar is still here.
A lot longer than Romero expected him to be. But Romero here in the last round and a half has clearly become the aggressor as blood just continues to spurt out of the nose of Willie Salazar.
Well, Salazar was one big round away. He was one big round away from doing the major damage there, but Romero was able to turn it.
If Danny would space his punches, he'd catch Salazar with a good overhand right and put him down. Come back with the left hook and it's over. See right there? Salazar dropped his gloves. Once Danny hits him with the shot, he drops his gloves. Danny got to double up.
Double with the jab, double with the hook, go to the body.
Both fighters are bleeding profusely from the nose now.
Salazar, for a moment, catching a second wind here and acquitting himself well in spots, making Danny Romero miss there.
It's going to be a beautiful fight with me and him getting on.
Yeah, for a while back there, Johnny, did you see some money floating away from you there with this match you've been trying to get?
Man, he's running like a bird from me. I don't know what seems to be his problem. He's acting stupid. We can be in the business. We can both make money and retire, but we don't have to get hit anymore.
And should he lose a fight along the way, it may kill your fight.
Oh, it's going to kill everything, and that's the big opportunity of my life is to fight him.
But you know, Johnny, that Romero's made no bones about the fact that he doesn't want to fight you.
And the guy just keeps on running, and he's wearing the same colors, too. Him and his dad are scared of me. I don't know what seems to be the problem, but I want him, and I want him bad. And no matter where the fight is, I'll be ready for it.
Will you be ready for tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah, I will. Believe me, I'm not thinking of Danny right now, but...
Johnny Tapia, good luck tomorrow night at Caesars Palace, and we'll continue with our coverage of the Danny Romero-Willie Salazar fight from the Aladdin in just a moment.
Edge on Romero in terms of the ones that landed, and who had the bigger ones? Well, you decide. That was a pretty good round for Salazar.
And that was a pretty good right for Romero. How do you have the fight so far?
A one-pointer for Danny Romero. Some big rounds for Salazar in the middle, and Romero starting to creep ahead. But he better not rely on the scorecards here. You just never know how that's going to go. He wants to do this convincingly and try to take any judicial matters out of this.
And Romero has had that left eye shut since about the second round.
And Salazar was taking advantage of it in the third. If he loses, he'll look back to round 4 when he just could not get over the top. We've seen some good ebb and flow, though, because Romero came on well in 4 and 5, and Salazar at least stood with him in round 6.
This has been a far more entertaining and a far more closely contested fight than I think anybody expected it would be.
Salazar came up a notch, Danny Romero came down a notch, and now you're in the middle of a brawl.
Romero is 21, Salazar is 30 years old. Good body shots from Romero. Romero's punches now much more crisp than they were early in the fight.
And not as tentative. Now he's digging the body as we outlined he should. He's getting in a little bit closer. Salazar not quite doing as much to cut him off. Although don't forget, it is the 7th round. It's been a good pace bout. And you are going to see some evidence of fatigue. You wonder if there will be a lesson in here for Danny Romero heretofore about no more non-title fights. Every time you fight, there's a risk. Make the most money you can, even if it is the toughest fight out there.
Jab just connecting by Romero, and another.
1 point for holding him. 1 point for holding him.
Danny Romero had been warned any number of times tonight by Joe Cortez, and it cost him a point, and it could be a very big point before this fight is over.
Danny Romero can't afford that with 4 rounds to go, and that could loom huge. And just the kind of thing which also will test a fighter's psychological mettle. It's already been a difficult night. Now the ref takes away a point. Romero started to hold and hit back in round 3 when his eyes started to shut.
7 rounds down, 3 rounds to go. Don't go away. We're coming back for round 8. The fight is over. The fight has been stopped. Danny Romero has been stopped. This is a huge upset. Willie Salazar wins.
Danny Romero had been buying time since round 3. He almost could have lost it way back then. And now the eye injury comes back to haunt him. He lost a point in the round already. And we talked on the keys to victory about Willie Salazar getting this fight into the late rounds. He did, and he gets a reward. There's the eye of Danny Romero, which has cost him this fight.
Referee Joe Cortez, on the advice of the Nevada Athletic Commission, has stopped the fight. Now let's take a look at Willie Salazar, a journeyman. The moment he found out the fight was stopped and he was the winner. Clearly the biggest win of his career.
We talk about journeymen, how you have to take them out early in the fight. If they start to believe they have a chance, they start to grow wings. Salazar did, and he really won this fight in rounds 2 and 3, fought on even terms after that, and the work does its damage. The eye of Danny Romero, and Salazar should at least get a title fight out of this and a major payday. He may have at least put $50,000 to $100,000 in his pocket for his next fight. If I were him, I'd go right for a title fight and try to cash in.
Now here's a guy who is 41-21-1 coming in. Nothing more than a workout. It's what it was supposed to be. It didn't work out that way. Let's get the official announcement now, Jake Gutierrez. Jake?
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped on the advice of the doctor after 7 rounds. The winner by TKO, Willie Salazar. How about a hand for Danny Kid Dynamite?
Just an enormous upset tonight. Willie Salazar, as the referee stops the fight, is the winner as he upsets Danny Romero. 7-round TKO. Romero keeps the title, but Salazar is the winner. We'll be back in just a moment.
24 hours.
Welcome back to the Aladdin, where we have witnessed a huge upset tonight. Willie Salazar, as the referee stops the fight, beats Danny Romero. Let's go up to the ring. Dave Bontempo and Willie Salazar. Dave?
Okay, Charlie, well, that's why they don't have fights on paper. Willie, your reaction, what will this do for your career?
¿Qué es lo que pasó ahorita con esto para tu carrera?
Para mi carrera es una cosa muy importante porque ganarle un peleador es bastante fuerte, bastante bueno, como es este chamaco. Quitarle lo invicto. Eso significa bastante para mí y espero eso volver a hacer una pelea.
Well, this is very nice for me because this is one of my best fight. I know this kid that's undefeated. This, to me, there's something I never expected to do in this, but thanks to God that he's doing this too.
Okay, congratulations once again. Now back to Charlie.
All right, Dave, so Willie Salazar is the winner in a huge upset tonight. Romero, the IBF flyweight champion, maintains the title as this was a non-title fight. But you're looking at the winner, Willie Salazar. We'll be back.
In the world.